This region around the Great Lakes has been called the heartland. When it comes to agriculture, there's hardly an area in the world that compares.
Everybody, just hold on. I don't know what we're going to have here.
That's what brings the viewers back. That a boy.
Manage money, piling in.
Double digits higher.
So at this point, we're in kind of uncharted territory.
There's a lot of money on the sidelines.
So that was a crazy one.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, July 17th, and this is the AgYield War Room. I'm Dan Dempsey, and I'll be moderating today's session. As always, if you get any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area. We'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here at September corn down 3/4 at 404.5. August soybeans are down 1/4 at 1013.25. And September Chicago wheat was down 5 at 536.25. We had weekly export sales out here this morning. Not real positive. Old crop corn 97,600, well below the low end of the estimates there. New crop 565,900, which was towards the lower end of the range as well. Soybean side, 271,900 for old crop, low end of the range. New crop was better than expected there, 529,600, upper end of the range was looking for a number closer to 400. On the wheat side, right in line, 494,400. Meal was pretty solid for old crop, 356,500. New crop, lower end of the range, 174,000. And on bean oil, 7,900 for old crop, which was in line with estimates, and nothing sold on the new crop there. Good morning, guys. A lot going on as well. Nice to catch a bid there yesterday, and we'll talk a little bit about that. On the heels of a new crop bean sale to unknown, I think that certainly at least perk some people's eyes up. We've got more and more chatter here this morning on some heat that's coming through the belt, certainly in the eastern belt, in the two-week weather outlook. So I know with corn beginning to pollinate or going to be coming into pollination, people have their eyes on that as well. And I guess lastly, we got news yesterday, or a truth yesterday, that President Trump talking about Coca-Cola moving to sugarcane versus high fructose corn syrup. Certainly not good for ADM and ingredient stocks. I know right after the announcement, they were sharply lower there. So I guess with that, Justin, maybe kick us off with a few thoughts here this morning, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We got you good.
All right. New microphone. So anyway, we talked about you kind of press things, underwater pretty far, early Monday morning. We're rebounding. I think you put a little bit of extra risk in there, some pollination issues, things that probably aren't really material. And, the weather's been really good, right? So you got these areas that like the Eastern Belt that are probably getting pretty stressed out right now, Indiana and Ohio, Southern Illinois. You got areas like Iowa, Minnesota, Northwestern Illinois. They're looking fantastic, right? So you've got enough where everyone's not perfect. So you're building a little bit of premium back in, basically having a bounce in a bear market here. So the question is, we're getting to the, like corn's getting to the 20-day, 25-day moving averages. So far the right thing to do has been sell corn rallies. We'll see if that holds or not, to be honest. Obviously, it's well advertised that seasonally we break into, mid-August, early September. But this year's been kind of a goofy year. So the question is, did we, factor in a big enough yield, a little too early, get enough shorts in the market where we're just, the recipe's there for a short cover rally? Probably if you can, actually get weather to set in and stay hot and dry. The problem is it's always been hot and dry 14 days out, and then you get there and it's hot and rainy, or warm and rainy, really, not even hot. So, and then as far as, high fructose corn syrup versus sugar, I think we looked it up. It's, 100 some million bushels of corn used for that, just for Coca-Cola. But I feel like that's been kind of somewhat to be expected with RFK kind of coming in looking at, some of these things and how healthy are they. I personally think there's probably better things we could use corn for and get more demand to offset that if we didn't think high fructose was that important. But again, that's not my forte there. It is what it is on the announcement, but yeah, we definitely need all the demand streams that we can have right now. So anything that takes that away for corn is definitely not welcomed right now. So
I saw a great meme yesterday. It was President Trump, and he's talking to Coca-Cola people, and as long as you don't take away my aspartame,
yeah, right.
don't
Right.
mess with my Diet Coke. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, right.
Jace, you talked to a lot of growers. What's on their minds? What are you looking at here this morning?
Yeah, I think Justin summarized it right. We're in a bear market. We're on a bear market bounce. They have said this before. Bear markets don't tend to go straight down, especially this time of year. It's going to be debated on the yield size. I think everybody's in agreement that it's a good crop. It's just how good, So this heat that's coming in or disease pressure, because Iowa's got too much moisture and the East Coast is a little too dry, and so figuring out how big this crop is going to be, right? Is it a 181? Is it 186? And we're going to obviously still need good weather, good finishing weather to hit those really high end numbers, which is really hard to do. I think we were talking about it yesterday on how perfect so many places have to be to, historically when we've seen these, record breakers way above trend. You go back and look, it was just really good weather all the way to finish. So we're not there yet. And the market trades just like that, right? It trades sideways to lower, and it's going to continue to do that if the weather stays good. Obviously, the funds are really short, and if something were to change, the pattern turns dry and hot. When we don't finish strong, we're probably too cheap. If not, like I said, it continues to rain. I mean, I think we continue to drift lower. So, talking to customers, I think good crops, right? I think they're if there's issues with weather, right? We've had some windstorms, I know, here in Northern Illinois that guys are frustrated with. There's some hail, like I said, some disease pressure. I think all in all, everybody's, pretty optimistic about their crop. Yeah, so time will tell.
I'd say except for maybe the eastern belt, right? Indiana, Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting pretty dry. They could really use rain.
Yeah.
They're going backwards right now.
Yeah, I would say that. Yep. Frustrated with that for sure. I think it's kind of like they are getting frustrated. It is, they need a rain. I think if they catch a rain here soon, it'll be fine. But yeah, definitely hearing that for sure. So
yeah. Right before the 4th, that was the same way in Northern Illinois. We were the same boat. It was teeter-tottering, and then we caught about 2 weeks of irrigation basically.
Yeah, a lot of guys in Iowa definitely just frustrated too with too much rain, not be able to get the field work done. Some drowned out spots. They had a lot of guys had a record yield last year, and questioning if they can meet that with this year with excess rain in a short amount of time. So hoping it kind of dries out up there.
That's what's so interesting to me is like they're still talking, it's just that, like I said, I could have egg on my face, but it doesn't seem like to me like that is the recipe for 185 or, some crazy number. I mean, I could be wrong, but
you're saying just little problems all over,
just creeping in, it's just like, it's just such a big number, and everywhere has to be a big number to get there, right? I mean,
yeah, and I think the potential is certainly there, to be honest. I mean, if you go look at, driving around how even the fields are, there's not a lot of drowned out spots. We didn't have hardly any planting problems. We planted really fast, which is why some of these localized areas where they planted 1,000 acres in a week and they're having pollination problems, during that 1 week, for example, because the conditions were just the wrong way for whatever reason, the genetics were wrong. But when you put that much rain down over the Midwest, like the net benefit's huge, right? So it's going to be even in like the pollination issues, like if it's only, 15 or 20%, like you can make up for a chunk of that, right? Just by good fill. If you have good grain fill, just put bigger kernels on. It won't make up for all of it, but that's why I think, we always try to make the crop like 4th of July and like pollination, but really, in my opinion, like to get those really big yields, you're putting on heavy test weight. You're getting really good grain fill. Some that like we've seen this last few years where we're going in looking like a record, and August just kind of stops raining and just kind of slowly lose bushels every week, and it ends up being a really, really good crop. But maybe 20 bushels less than they thought it could have been, just because it didn't finish out, through mid-September even. So that's the recipe to get the really, really big yields, is you just stay good all the way through. So if you look at all the checklists, right, we've cleared a lot of hurdles so far, especially like, Iowa, places that caught rain. So they're looking, I'd say they have almost full potential still, but still hate to keep saying there's still a lot of growing, but there's still a lot of, you still need, a good 6 weeks of weather to finish off at top potential.
Right. No, that's a good point, Justin. A lot of chirping this morning, and I kind of alluded to it in the beginning. I think it was right around this time last year that China started coming in for new beans. We did have the unknown yesterday, so I think it'll be interesting in that complex to see. I mean, are they going to come to the table, or what? What's going to happen there? I mean, are you hearing anything? I know you talk to a lot of people, but that'll be interesting to see.
No, I just kind of get the feeling that we're the end user. I mean, especially I think with these tariff talks and trade war negotiations, that there's just a lot of people hand to mouth, and the weather's been good. So it's kind of the way the market, when you have, everyone thinking it's a bigger crop, you get end users to just sit on their hands and be very hand to mouth, because they know a big crop's coming. Right. And then when it flips the other way, you get producers kind of panicking not to sell because the crop's going down and the user wants to get coverage. Right. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. When the mentality is just so bearish, you don't see a lot of end users really reaching up. I'm sure the cattle guys, livestock guys, their margins are good enough that they're probably getting some decent purchases in. I would think Ryland can add to that, but I'm guessing just when you have super high margins, right, you don't necessarily care. You want to make sure that it doesn't slip away from you, right? So you're kind of locking that in. When you're an exporter, you're obviously booking based on the world buyer and what their attitude is. And, so we are competitive. I mean, so we're priced correctly to do business. I just think maybe the attitude's that you don't have to be in a hurry.
Oh, very good. We'll with that, we'll move over to livestock here, Rye. We a credible battle for cattle back to fresh highs yesterday. I mean, it's just like unbelievable to watch that market. And saw a little bit of stabilizing in the hog market by the, down by the 100-day. But the open interest continues to dwindle there. So I guess share a few thoughts here this morning.
Yeah, no, another day, another new contract high in cattle. It just keeps going. And I mean, it does kind of seem like we're trying to narrow this basis a little bit between where the futures are versus where cash is. And we did see a little bit of light trade yesterday, some 230 trade in Kansas, 239 in Iowa. So not too much here, but overall, it just kind of sets the precedent, I think, for a steady to potentially higher market. But on the other hand, we did see beef prices just still kind of on the ropes here. Choice was down 487. Select was down 467, so another big down. And I think seasonally, it's probably the right direction right now. It just seems like packers are still having trouble getting cattle bought right now, still having to pay higher prices, and the board just kind of keeps on creeping higher. There's a massive long in this market that really isn't going to go down without good reason. Anytime we've seen a big sell-off right now, it's just on the fact that we could see lower cash potentially. So as of right now, it still seems like you're getting into another round of kind of overbought territory, but technically the trend is still higher. The path of least resistance is still higher. I mean, a lot can change on the 25th after we get the July cattle inventory report. So I think that's we're close enough now where I think guys that have been waiting to put coverage on with the back end of the market getting over 220 really may want to start considering that. Like, it just kind of seems like a no-brainer here. LRP quotes yesterday were in the sky. So you can get a really nice floor there. Put options are a great idea, I think, just to have some kind of guarantee for the future. Just because even though the market keeps on going up, anybody that's traded this thing knows that it doesn't take much to send it straight down and cause some massive liquidation. So we want to just keep that in mind as we're going forward. But generally, the outlook for this week's cash still pretty steady, firm. And on the hog side of things, yeah, we're still seeing a little bit of liquidation. I wouldn't be surprised to see the longs start to kind of reduce the size of their position. Managed money still keeping a pretty massive near record position at this point. But at least overall, the cash market's still relatively firm. We had cash at 112.72, up 12 and cut out. Once again, the belly market's starting to find some support here again. So it seems like we're going to see a little bit of stability in the futures based on that alone. But overall, it seems like the managed money's starting to maybe see a little bit of seasonal pressure. So we'll see. Maybe we can find some stability, get a little bit of a bounce here. But overall, it just kind of seems like we need a little bit more consistency and cut out to really try to pick a bottom here around that 100-day.
Very good. Appreciate the update there, Rye. Just coming into the open here, September corn down a quarter, 405 is the last. August soybeans are unchanged at 1013.5, and September Chicago wheat is down 3 at 538.25. Tomorrow's Friday. We got Fun Fact Friday, so be sure to tune in. Never know what Brian's going to bring for us, so we're looking forward to that. Also appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like and certainly subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to do so. It'll keep you up to speed on everything that's going on with AgYield. So again, thanks to everybody that supports the show. We're doing this live every day that the markets are open on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, 8:15 Central Time. Appreciate the thoughts and comments here this morning, guys. It was a good show. I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
The War Room is proudly presented by AgYield. For over 50 years, the AgYield team has provided grain marketing and risk management solutions for growers across the country. Our veteran consultants harness cutting-edge technologies to pinpoint risk, optimize market performance, and protect your farm's profitability. Discover a new approach to farm revenue management at agyield.com.
Hey guys, Jack here. Be sure to support the show by hitting the like button, leaving us a comment, and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.